Hey everyone! So I'm going to be recording some new Zoom 500 videos. I'm back in Bangkok actually. I've been living here for about 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, let's just get started. So I have not been playing online that much until like maybe 2 weeks ago when I arrived here. Yeah, so overall I was still in Macau. The games was pretty decent during the Chinese New Year, but unfortunately I didn't make that much. Yeah, so I think the plan for me this year is to just try to balance a good mix between online and live. I'll try to play less online in Macau and I'll try to play more online here. And to take less breaks, not go on so many holidays. King 10, you could 4-bet sometimes, but I'm going to fold now. This guy is a fish, he donks twice. I think if he's more polarized, I might want to raise with this hand, but I think a fish will often be merged here. He'll be leading some bottom pairs, middle pairs, top pairs. My kicker isn't strong. With ace king, I'll probably raise. Here, I think he either has a king and queen that will pay me off, or he will just check fold. I'll just go for a large size. So he probably had some busted draw. So as for changes in the meta game, honestly I think Sauce is single-handedly changing the meta game all the time. Now I'll bet sometimes. The 1/3 pot bet is really used very often. This guy flats a lot, so I'll just make a large 4-bet, especially when he's in the small blind and he has a linear 3-bet range. So he has a lot of like 10-9 suited hands that can call even a large 4-bet. I mean, 2.5x isn't that large, but still large enough. And he likes to float, so I'll just bet this with close to my whole range. It's just a spot where he can't really defend much. If the board was kind of a low paired flop, I think checking back pocket aces could be a good thing. So like if it's like 5-5-4, and if your opponent's primary floats will be like ace queen, ace jack, ace 10 suited, then if you block his calling range with two aces, then you might want to just check back and induce. You can still get all the money in by the river pretty easily if you are since it's a 4-bet pot and the stack to pot ratio is really low. Table 2, this is the type of board where you can just bet super frequently against a big blind. The big blind can't really do that much because his range is just going to be so much wider. This guy isn't deflecting so much on the blind compared to what a top level player would be doing, but I still think I should pretty easy call. 5-6, I'm going to mix it up between 3-betting and calling. This guy check raises flop and bets the turn. I think with any pair without a straight draw, I should probably flat again. I'm going to make a weak fold here. I think too many things got that. 10-9, ace 10. And he might still have some 2 pairs. Based on his stats, I just felt he was on the passive side. My sample isn't huge. Like a lot of my hand histories are like pretty old. Over the past 1 to 2 years. King 9 versus someone who 3-bets a lot. Definitely you can call. He's 3-betting as much as a heads up as what he should be 3-betting in a heads up game. So he bets the flop. I think he folds a lot to raises, so I'll just go ahead and put in a raise. Here, I think it's alright, just to lead out. It's not exactly a board where he would delay c-bet, and I don't really want to check call or check raise when my draw is only a queen high draw or a straight. You know, he would occasionally have some like flush cards. I mean flushes on the turn, flush draws which opted to check the turn, check the flop. I'll just go for a standard size here. It's a spot where I'm going to be stabbing really often with air, given how often the button is just check folding. Just tank for a bit and then bet again. I don't really expect him to have too many Jack-10 combos or 6-10 combos. %61 opening range. Yeah, probably doesn't have 10-6 off. 10-6 suited, he probably has that, but you know, gut shots usually bet the flop. Let's see what he called me down with. Okay, so he just called me down with an 8, which I think he has to sometimes. So I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I will often continue barreling my Jack-X or 10x hands. Yeah, so what are my thoughts about the Zoom game right now? I think it's considerably softer. Like, I'm not sure what happened. There used to be a lot more top racks. I think they just left after being frustrated with not having Supernova Elite. There's probably a huge exodus of players. They might be moving to other sites like Bovada or something. I'm not sure. Secondly, I think they're just fewer racks, so you get a better fish to rack ratio. So I think that's great for someone who isn't grinding for SNE like me. So overall, even though Stars is pretty scummy for raising the rig, I'm not going to complain. Here we are kind of deep. I don't really want to shove. I haven't marked as a nit, but maybe that's inaccurate. I'm not sure. This guy goes for the bad check bet. I'll just give up. This is a really bad turn, but I still have so much equity, so I'll just bet. I think he has 9s, he has king queen, he has flushes, and Jack-10 here. I think I'll just go for an all-in size. His boats will probably pay me off. I will turn ace king into a bluff. I mean, I will turn a king into a bluff sometimes. I find it very hard for him to pay me off with worse. I think I'll just bet some silly amount. If the queen didn't come, I'll probably just shove it in. Yeah, but he probably had a hand like ace jack. Of course, on table 1, I could definitely go for a smaller raise, which I would sometimes. This time I'm going to re-bet this hand. Yeah, so it's pretty recent in the meta game, but people are like using really large 3-bet sizes. And yeah, I'm experimenting with using it sometimes because people are just folding so little now. And people are not so used to different sizes, so it could be a good spot to exploit people. Eights. This guy's opening really wide. I'll just 3-bet him. Yeah, I went for the really large sizing. I guess I could use a slightly smaller sizing given my late range. My range is linear. But yeah, whatever. When this guy leads 3-way, I think he has a queen pretty often. People tend to be a lot more cautious in these spots. On mono bots, I think you should be playing very, very passively with your entire range, even if you have the nuts. Yeah, I mean, my preflop size isn't really that consistent. I'm just kind of looking at their stats. So if they're folding less, I'm going for a larger sizing in general. It's really small. He's short, so I think I'll just defend. Okay, there's no way I can defend. I'd rather have like ace queen than pocket threes here. Given how easily my hand is counterfeited. There's one fish. I think it's best just to bet. Hope the fish calls, kick the regular out. So I think in general in multi-way spots you want to be using more of a betting strategy rather than having like a super balanced checking game. I'll call the turn and then probably fold the river. Okay. Small raise flop bet turn with AK, and then 3-bet 3. Kind of hand history that's a bit long, but I think given that I've started playing fewer tables, I think it's alright. I have a lot more time to make more careful decisions. So yeah, back then I really forced myself to play like more than I could handle. So my win rate wasn't really good last time, but I think now my win rate is a lot better when given that all the grinders are gone and people are just playing a more careful style. And yeah, when I play 4 tables, I find that I'm much better able to focus. I've also started to go back to regular tables. I'm not sure if there are fishes. I'll just join. This Alex guy is a potential fish. I think he is. I'll just label him this. I'm not sure. And the best way to play against a fish is always to check your second pair and let him start bluffing. This card's really bad. I think I'll just call him down no matter what. I don't really care. Do I have value on the river? I really doubt it, to be honest. Ace Jack perhaps, King Jack, I don't think so. Yeah. This guy seems like a fish. I'll just pot it. river, I'll go for the smaller sizing. I think turn, the max exploitative line is to play like that. Turn is the street where he is probably going to... Wow, this guy 3-bets so much, I'm going to call ace 10 for sure. Yeah, so as I was saying, I should pot the street whereby he's more inelastic in his calling range. I think he's calling any pair. And... oh, this guy delays bets a lot. I think I'll just pot in and overbet. I guess it's a good spot to go for a check raise against someone who delays c-bets a lot, but I kind of suspect he has ace high, like ace king, and that is going to check again. Wow. 10-9, I can check again. I'll check a lot of ace highs and low pairs. I can also do a block bet. I don't think strong enough to bet large. If he was deep, I would definitely call with my super nutted straight outs. 9-8 this time, I'm just going to check. This guy seems like a really aggro fish. I'm not sure. He half pots the turn? I don't know. I'm just gonna call him down. I don't believe him. Yeah, I kind of figured he had like a thin value hand, but I wasn't sure how thin. I was really tempted to raise because I felt he might have like a second pair hand, hoping to get value from ace high. But I decided just to give up. I think I should just off the game sounds. It's kind of loud and annoying. People like to complain to me. Okay, I think the sound is disabled right now. All of these years of video making experience. Okay, so ace 5, do I 4-bet bluff? I'll do it sometimes. I've been moving more towards like a mixed strategy, selecting different hand classes. No, back then I just selected hands like maybe king queen off just to 4-bet. And the problem with using such a strategy is that if your opponent knows you are not mixing your bluff 4-bet hands, if he calls you, he can do a lot of things to you post-flop on certain board textures. Of course, back in the day, no one really cared because no one was ever calling for bets, which is why people don't really mix. I mean, people only go for ace X and like two Broadway hands because blocking effects are just more important than post-flop playability. But these days, when people just fold 30% against 4-bets and they call like 40 to 50%, then I think post-flop playability comes into play a lot more. It's like last time people also just used ace 2 offsuit just to 3-bet as a bluff, because everyone was just folding way too much. I think nines with nines you can take a mixed strategy or 3-bet or call. This guy is on the tighter side from the cutoff, which makes me more inclined to call. Even pocket tens would be a bit slim, a bit thin. Okay, so he does this small bet. I can definitely check raise nines from time to time, but this time I'm going to call. I'm definitely calling the turn. On the river if he bets, I have a decision. I have plenty of ace highs with backdoors here actually. Oh, that's such a bad river for me. I also block his straight draws with 2 nines. I guess I block the spade flush with my 9 spade, but I mean, I would definitely rather have an 8 rather than pocket 9s to call down, given that his range is like ace X or better. Pocket deuces. If he bets half pot, I would consider calling. Versus his larger bet size, which is probably more polarized, maybe not. Happy man. I think I have to call with a jack. Big turtle never has an ace, I think, after checking twice. Half pot, probably need to call. Oh god, okay, never mind. Yeah, but I feel like I probably have to call or jacks there. This guy folds a lot to 4 bets, which means I should pick blocker hands to 4 bet with. Against a strong small blind calling range, I want to bet with a lower frequency and with a larger size, with a more polarized range. So I did bet the flop. I guess I could barrel the turn from time to time if he's defending like a lot of worse hands, but he's not. I think best play is just to check turn and bluff catch him on the river. If he bets small on the river, I can consider raising. Here, I think it's a really good spot for him to take the check call, flop, check, raise, river line. I'll just bet a normal amount, let him raise, and I will snap him off if he raises. That's how he will often play his flush, I think. Because especially at like NL 100, NL 200, people bet on the ace way too much, which means that regardless of what you have in the big blind, you should just always check to the button there. Right? People want to wrap the ace. But at higher limits, if let's say you check call the flop with ace high, you want to lead the river with an ace, especially when you have a strong kicker a lot of the time. So here, I felt that guy. I think I prefer to just lead out. I mean, check in his shoes. This guy is passive, so I'm just giving up. I think I can three barrel against a wide range. Here 4-4-2, you want to have a check raising range. If not, you allow your opponent just to bet like 1/3 pot with a really wide range of hands. This guy, he delays C bets. Huh. I will make an exploit fold against this guy. The king is a pretty bad card. Ace, king, king, queen are hands which should bet call the flop. I'm just giving up here. I don't see how I'm good on the king. I would also give up on an ace. An ace floats me really often, yeah. I mean, it's not exactly a value raise. It's like, at best, you are like 50-50 against his calling range. And playability isn't that good when you check raise, but it's just a necessary part of your game plan just to prevent your opponent from like recklessly betting every time. Ace Jack, a good hand to 4-bet with. Okay, so when he flats me here, he has ace, king, and queens a lot. I'm not folding, but I'm going to avoid pumping all the money in the pot. I think if he calls me down, I'm probably going to die to queens plus. Oh. I'll probably shove kings plus. I think he will value bet ace queens, but it's kind of hard to expect him to pay me off. Yeah, so that's too bad. I recently started having the calling range again. Um, yeah, but I'm just gonna three bet it this time. Ace queen on like a 2 or 3 high cut type of board. You can bet really often, especially on king high boards. It just favors the pre-flop aggressor a lot more. Okay, I think this guy is just really full of it. I'm definitely calling once. I'll probably fold on the next street. I would call a queen here, I think. Even though an overbet from a fish, it's pretty strong, but he just feels like the type of guy who's super out of line. Against a small bet, I just feel like I should mix in some king queen type of checks. Okay, so I have to ask myself, what do I want to push him off? If I want to push him off an ace, I have to overbet, or yeah. If not, I think I can just go for a normal size. Like if he has some sort of mid pair, he has to fold here. But yeah, I think a mid pair isn't betting so often on the flop, but he might have it sometimes. He also has some like pure air hands which just gives up, which is the main point of betting there. Hope my hotel internet doesn't give way. It disconnects sometimes. Okay, so this guy large um white calling range. Yeah, so just make it large. It hits his calling range pretty well, so it's a spot where I'm actually giving up sometimes. And of course I'm pretty scared of ace queen. Oh, I think I'm dead. Pretty unfortunate, but yeah, can't help it. And it's pretty interesting that he didn't lead the turn. Would I have shoved the river? I think I would probably shove the river. I don't really expect too many slow plays from him. So I would have killed myself on a blank. Actually, that's pretty noteworthy. I should probably write it down. I think I'll just make it like half an hour for each part, so I'm going to pause it soon. 377 against a wide defending range. Cold call 50%. That's way too wide. So this tiny bet just crushes him super hard. I'll just go for a quarter pot bet with my entire range, 100% range. There's just nothing he can do with his like 6-8 type of hands. Even with queen high, it's gonna be pretty tough for him to defend. And I can always follow it up with a second barrel because his range is just too wide. And he'll be put in a spot where he's very unfamiliar with the proper call down ranges. So even if I bet flop, bet turn super wide, he can't really do much. Okay, so I guess I'll just sit out on next hand. Seems to be really wide in 3-betting here, I'm not sure. I think most of the time people will raise all their sets here, but I think the GTO solution is to check call sets pretty often. He shouldn't really dare to triple barrel aces and kings, right? I'm not sure. I do expect him to fire 3 barrels with like, well, 1 heart type of hand. The plan is to call twice, probably call river. I'll just check and hope for the best. If he bets, I'm obviously folding. Unless he bets really small, then I will call. I think I would call against a 1/3 pot bet. Folding this would be folding too much. Yeah, so call against a 1/3 pot bet. Half pot, I'll give it to him. Wow, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, so let's end part 1 here. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Don't forget to check out my website for courses if you are interested in learning from me. Thank you.